Some viewers may find the following video disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised.
This is an interview of what Filipinas actually think of foreign guys that come over to the Philippines. So, you mind saying how old you are?
I'm 21.
You're 21. And say your name if you want, or you can make a nickname. It's up to you.
Zeta.
Zeta. Alright, so Zeta, what is your experience with foreign guys coming into the Philippines? Have you ever dated a foreign guy?
I dated a couple.
Dated a couple. Do you mind saying how many foreign guys you've dated?
Two.
Two foreign guys, so legit a couple.
Yeah.
Okay. And your first experience, what was his background? Where was he from?
He's from New York.
Oh, from New York. Okay.
Yeah.
And
he was in the military.
okay. How old is he?
He was 27 at the time.
27 at the time. And how old are you at the time?
17.
27 and 17. So that's a 10-year gap.
10-year gap.
Okay. And how did that feel? Was that your first relationship, or was that just your first foreign guy?
That was my first relationship.
So your first relationship was with someone foreign?
First ever.
Ever. So why didn't you ever have someone like from the Philippines? Why the foreign guys?
I don't know. I mean, it's just, I think I want someone new. I've always been interested in, new cultures and stuff like that. So I was like, you know what? And I also, it's just my preference.
So, question again. Why foreign guys?
Just my preference.
Your preference. Okay. So, from your first experience with a foreigner, how do you think it went? Was it a good experience? Was it a bad experience?
I'd say it was bad.
Why do you say that?
Because I was 17 and he was 27, and he really didn't take me out because, I was a minor.
Mm-hmm.
And after a couple months, he left, and then he and I got back together again, 9 months later, and it was going pretty well, but, he didn't really treat me right. He only wanted to go to places he wanted, or he never really, asked me, where I wanted to go. But he was nice. He was nice to my family. He met my family and all that. But there are just some moments where, I kind of feel like it's kind of unfair. Because in a relationship, you're supposed to, be fair. But that time, it wasn't.
Okay. So, did you have sex with this guy, or
Yeah.
That's when he was 17?
Yeah, when I was 17.
Okay, so basically, yes, you were a minor.
Yeah.
Did you feel forced, or what happened? Were you drunk?
No, I was completely sober.
So you did this with, your consent?
Because he and I were talking for, a couple months. Literally 2 months.
So, did you have sex with him as soon as he came here, or was it,
After a day.
So after a day?
After a day.
Alright. Did he ever promise you anything?
Yeah.
What did he promise you?
He did say that he wanted a relationship that's gonna last really long. I'm a sucker for guys with, with plans. I was into the idea. Also because he was my first and everything, so I was kind of so attached. And he said some stuff he wanted to, hopefully someday we'll be together and stuff like that. He met my parents, so I was actually looking forward to, settling my life with him.
At 17?
Well, I was 18 that time. After, he and I first, broke up.
Alright. Do you think he just gave you false dreams? Do you think foreigners come here, give these Filipino girls false dreams, hoping do something better with their lives? And they just use that against the Filipino girls?
Actually, there were foreign guys who would just randomly message me, and they would say oh, you're a Filipina, do you want to go to the US with me, or do you want to go to Australia or whatsoever? And I'm excuse you? And then they would be oh, because you're Filipina, of course you want a better life.
Okay.
Yeah.
Foreigners use the whole better life thing to get these Filipinas to do anything with them.
Yeah, and it's very degrading.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, so your second relationship was also a foreigner, right?
Yeah, he was.
Where was he from?
He is from the same.
New York as well, so you have a thing for New York guys.
It wasn't.
Or it's just a coincidence.
It was just a coincidence.
How did that go? What did he promise? Did he promise
At first, it was great. Legit, it was really great at first. That's why I was kind of attached to him. But he didn't, he only promised me. He was more encouraging me. like with school and stuff like that. But the thing was, he thinks so highly of himself, so he wanted me to finish school, but I was like, oh, okay. But, later on, he was like saying some shit about me. Am I allowed to?
If you feel uncomfortable, you don't have to say it, but if you feel comfortable enough to say it, you can.
Yeah. Later on in the relationship, he was like, oh, you didn't go to school. You're gonna have a shitty ass job here in the Philippines. You're just gonna earn way less than I'm gonna earn. He said like, oh, you messed up your chance of like being with me and getting out of the country. He said some messed up shit like that. And, me being me, I was like, oh, you know what? I don't fucking care. I don't fucking need him. I know myself. I know my abilities. And, it's just messed up that I lost my scholarship. That's all. But I know what I can do.
So
I don't need him.
So far, pretty much all your relationships with foreign guys been bad.
Yeah. I mean,
because from what you're telling me,
it was good at the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
But,
from what you're telling me, I see a pattern that pretty much they all promise you things.
Yeah.
And they all use that promise of going somewhere else to pretty much get you to, I would say, do whatever they want.
Yeah, but I didn't really rely on him or anything because, I kind of learned a lot from my first one. And also I realized, like, I'm very young. I'm too young to settle. But I just wanted to, like, see how things work just by, like, staying with him, even just for a month, if he and I were, like, compatible or not. But it didn't work out, so.
All right, well, that's a good thing, I guess, that you realize that. Have you ever met a foreign guy that you think may be, like, someone that's compatible?
Well, there's one.
There's one? So there's hope for foreign guys.
I'm not gonna hope. I'm not gonna hold on to it, but, me, that's just my preference.
Okay.
I'm kind of, like, talking to someone right now.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and he's a great guy.
He's also a foreigner?
Yeah.
So not all foreigners are assholes.
Not all foreigners. But we'll see where this goes.
So, if anything like bad happens to this other guy who you're talking to, you think that's going to be it for foreign guys?
One thing that I learned is, like, I'm not gonna force myself into a relationship. If it comes, it comes. But from now on, I just want to, like, focus on myself, to be honest.
Okay. There's a term that goes around in the Philippines. What's it called? I believe they call it stopover or comfort girl.
Yeah.
Well, how do you feel about that?
Actually, my ex told me. My ex said that to me.
And how did that make you feel?
Messed up.
Did you love him?
Yeah, it was, the relationship wasn't that long, but, I had feelings.
But the word I said, did you love him? I said if you had feelings, did you love him?
I don't know if it was, like, true or not, but we did say it to each other, so I guess.
Doesn't sound like you were sure. Because you said, I guess.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
So I don't think so either.
I don't think it was real.
So how does it feel like going out in public with like a foreign guy? Because I know a couple of people from the Philippines and they tell me if you have a foreign boyfriend, everyone stops, stares, looks at you. One, either think you're like a hoe or a gold digger, like one of the poorest kids and just looking for a way out. How do you feel about that stereotype?
People who think like that are just stupid because, they're so close-minded. But at the same time, you can't really blame it entirely because Philippines is a third world country. And as messed up as this sounds, like, there are Filipinas or Filipinos, who are very honest on their intentions. Even on some shows, I did watch 90 Day Fiancé, and there were, like, a couple Filipinas there who were, like, they wanted to, like, be with a guy because they think he has a big house or they think that he can, like, support her and stuff like that. And it's embarrassing because, they're kind of, like, ruining the image for Filipinas.
Agreed.
People shouldn't just stick to that. They gotta be somehow open because not all Filipinos are like that.
So, would you stay with a foreigner, let's say, didn't have money, but he really cared about you? Would you stay with him?
Of course, yeah.
His heart was good. Like, you knew going into the relationship, he may not have so much money, but he cared about you, and he really saw a future with you.
Of course, yeah.
Right? It's not all about just money.
It's not about money. That's what I wanted, because it's my preference in the first place.
All right, well, I think that's going to conclude this interview. Thank you very much for coming on the show. It's Kevin, and good luck with your foreign guy that you're talking to. All right?
Thank you.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.